Okay, we have started recording. All yours, Tama.
Okay, so thank you everyone for coming to this Zoom meeting. We're just thought we'd start off by showing some photos of people. That's my mom back in Hawaii when she was doing the hula. And so you'll be able to obviously see these at your leisure when we actually post it eventually.
It was hard choosing which one of these to show.
We'll add captions under this so you know who's who when you see the pictures.
That's Adam right in the middle.
Yes, that was Adam in the middle. That's Adam too. That's their 50-year wedding anniversary.
So I guess we went through, right?
Yes, we
Once.
went through all the way through. Yep.
Okay, so I mean, I could start speaking with that in the background if that's.
Please go ahead. Do you want me to stop it, or what would you like me to do?
We'll just let it run.
Yeah, let's let it run. It's good.
Okay.
It's fine. As you can tell, we have not done a Zoom memorial celebration before. So I guess I wanted to thank everyone for participating in this, and especially during these difficult times of COVID to come together and share the memories of the life of Norma Matsuoka. She was born on February 5th, 1931, and she passed away peacefully at our home on October 15th, 2020. What's Georgia saying? Okay. Okay, sorry, that's my daughter. She's like pinging me or some problem. Okay, so my mother was born, in Honolulu, Hawaii. She was always curious and full of life, and she loved to climb coconut trees when she was young, and she loved to go to the beach. I'm sure her sister, who is going to be speaking, will be able to fill us in on some little stories from that. But we know that she loved to play the ukulele, and Hawaii had always been, near and dear to her heart.
I get yours.
We appreciate, the people from Hawaii on this call.
But then my speakers aren't working.
Someone is speaking, so can you mute yourself? So we really appreciate the people from Hawaii, because it was always till she even wasn't speaking. If I said the word Hawaii, she would perk up. So that really was always, I feel like, where her heart lay. So she was, born in Hawaii, and then the last couple months, she would really enjoy listening to these, and these were her two favorite songs from the 50s. And we wanted to play it for you so you could kind of share with us what she was listening to. She was listening to 2 songs, and my brother's going to play them. They're both by Don Ho. Those of you who are in Hawaii or, you know, of a certain age are going to know Don Ho. One of them is the Hukilau song. And I will act out some of the things my mom did when she was listening to this, even when she couldn't walk. Like doing these.
Are we going to a Hukilau? A Hukilau. Everybody loves the Hukilau. But the lau is the cow with the luau. We throw our nets out into the sea.
Oh, there's the person.
And only a
lower net.
Women to me. Are we going to a Hukilau? A Hukilau. What a beautiful day for fishing. Oh, how Hukilau, that's swishing. Yes, babe. Oh, we're going to a Hukilau. A Hukilau. There's romance beneath Hawaiian skies, with a lovely hula maidens roll their eyes, while the silvery moon is shining above. The Connies and Mahinas sing a song about love. Paradise now at the Hukilau. The Hukilau. Sea, and only a mama comes swimming to me. Oh, we're going to a Hukilau. A hooky, a Hukilau.
And then there's her second favorite that she always would wave her hands to, is the lovely hula hands, also by
love. She could dance the hula better than I. But I think I don't know how much Norma talked to you folks about her when she was little. She played the accordion, if you ever know that.
No, she is.
And she's the only one. I think my father wanted us girls to have some kind of musical ability, and he started Norma on the accordion. But Norma had an accordion, and she would play it very beautifully.
I can feel the
sound. She was 7 or 8. She stopped. So I don't know what happened to that, but it was, I think during my elementary days, maybe in the 3rd or 4th grade, my father did buy a piano. Norma and I both took piano lessons. And I got on to the violin from intermediate days. Norma and my talent with the piano. We shared the piano in the house. And during the weekend, as we were growing up, we would have a trio session. We had a cousin named James Zane, and he was younger than I, but we called him Jimmy Boy. And Jimmy Boy played the cello, I was on the violin, and Norma was on the piano. So we had our little Christmas musical sessions when Christmas came around. And if Norma wasn't out on a date or so, there were the 3 of us would play what I call Christmas song on the trio, just for the fun of it. And that's my thing with Norma, and it was what we did. There
Fingertips that
I
say,
think with my sister Norma was always competitive.
say to me
Meaning
again, I
she was the
love
smarter
you,
one.
lovely.
And I can now understand how she was as competitive and very intelligent, very smart. When my parents had her, they sent her to nursery schools and preschools and all this. So that's where I think Norma picked up her talent. I was
No,
not.
I didn't know all that. I didn't know that at all.
You
I
didn't know that?
ethnic
Anyway,
origin.
when I was growing up with Norma, I didn't have that preschool and things. I was sent to my two popos, one on my father's side and one on my mother's side. So I didn't have as much preschool thing. And when we lived on, I guess, on Olu Street, I didn't see much of her too much. But as we got older, in high school, I was in high school, because Norma and I are 4 years different. So when Norma was growing up in intermediate and high school, she was very smart, got straight A's. And here I was struggling. I couldn't match my sister. I couldn't get all straight A's. But our father told us, saying, you girls go on to college. And I can understand that because our father only had up to third grade education. And he moved from Pepekeo, Hawaii to Honolulu strictly to find a job or to find a trade. But there was no trade in those days. And he was so young, 11, 12 years old. What does a young boy do? He only had third grade education. So if you understand where we came from, Norma and I used to always remember my father said, you girls go on to college. And my father was very pleased and happy that Norma graduated and I too graduated. But my father died early at the age of 53. So my father did not get to see me graduate from University of Hawaii. I was just made 18 years old and my father passed away. So to give you some idea. But my mother was a school teacher and she continued and she had to work until she retired. So this life that I had with my sister, I think my sister and I were very close. We shared a lot of things and did a lot of things together. And I appreciate when Norma talks about going on eating mango. There was a big mango tree in the back of our garage. So when the mangoes got ripe, Norma was, I think, a little more tomboyish than I was. So I would climb up with her. We'd go sit on the roof of the mangoes, the roof of the garage, and we'd sit and pick mangoes, fresh mangoes with, I think, a sugar variety. We'll sit on the roof and bring out a bowl of soy sauce and just slice half-ripe mangoes. And we'd sit on the roof because the mango tree provided shade. So we would sit up on the roof and eat mangoes. This is part of our growing up days. What else can I say?
So, well, Auntie Mildred, let me speak a little more, and then when I finish, you can think of more things you want to say, if that's okay. But that's great. I love. She was drinking mango juice every day in the last month. But so as Auntie Mildred said, my mom, graduated from University of Hawaii, and she always loved children. She has this love for children, and especially babies, I think, and children all her life. And so she started teaching kindergarten. And she was on this program. We have one of the pictures in the slideshow as her going to the United States to teach on the mainland kindergarten in some exchange program. And what happened is, even though Hawaii was in her heart, she met my father there, who was sort of a dashing Japanese science scholar studying at Princeton University, on a blind date. And there's more on that to come. And so she met him and ended up marrying him and staying where she met him, which is New Jersey. So we have actually a photo of them, which we did for their 50th wedding anniversary. Bryce, can you put it up? Because there's some stories there about, and oh, I should say that unfortunately my father cannot attend. He's in a memory care center. And so we were not able to get him to be on, but he was doting, and she was the light of his life, and still continues to be. So this is a photo of them when they got married in New Jersey, and we sent out, so people will be able to look at this later, but they met on a blind date. And the thing my mother most remembers about the date, she thought her impression, because she's Chinese, was that he was going to be one of these super sort of nerdy Japanese scientist types. And after the date, she was trying to get her hand through her coat, and she couldn't. She kept trying to put it through, and she found out that he was holding it closed. So he was kind of a prankster. So she realized he was a little bit different than her impression was. And he said his first impression of her was that she is such a low voice for such a short girl. And then on their second date, my dad had one of these rusty old cars, and he had to stop the car because my mother's shoe fell through the floor in the car. They obviously had 3 children, myself and my brothers, Bryce and Tim, and now they have 4 grandchildren, Rebecca, Georgia, Mia, and Adam. So I think she settled in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, where she really enjoyed gardening and cooking, and again, being involved in education and children and her family. And so I think those were some of the things she really appreciated through her life.
And we have a picture of her 50-year anniversary, if you want me to show that, Tama.
Oh, okay.
They're both wearing crowns.
So then what's happened is that she actually had a stroke, or a number of them. And so she ended up being in a wheelchair, but still very vibrant, full of life. She was always very kind of chill, but she had a wicked sense of humor. And she was in fellowship assisted living, and she and my dad both, and they had a great time. There was a lot of activities and a community, and she enjoyed that very much and made some good friends there. But more recently, I feel after the COVID, she started, there's a lot of isolation, and she ended up having more circulatory problems and ended up having to have an operation. We took her home after that, and she was home for about 10 days. But she, at the end, I think she was very peaceful. She drank mango juice, Auntie Mildred, every single day. And she had coconut ice cream too. So she passed very, very peacefully. She wasn't on any drugs at all. And she slipped away on the most beautiful Indian summer day you could think of. And when she passed, she was actually listening to the sound of the ocean. The closest thing we could get her to Hawaii. And Bryce, do you want to play that? This is what she was listening to.
Norma, when I would call her at the convalescent care home, there are times where Norma would ask me, Mildred, shall we go back to Honolulu and reminisce and remember the things that we used to do? So it was really a pleasant thing that I did go back with Norma when she was in her wheelchair and with Cheryl, and it was really, a nice reunion for us sisters. But then afterwards, she would just lately, she wanted to go back, and I said, but I told myself it would be difficult for me because I didn't want to take full responsibility of my sister. So I let it pass. But I tried to share whatever news that I got of the Chow family. When I got the news from the cousin, I would either, since she was not on the computer, would call her on the phone and give her the latest news of the Chows, even of the foes. So, but I'm glad that I did what I could for my sister. She was a good sister to me, and I appreciate it. So I'm sorry to hear that she's gone, but I tell myself, someday soon, I'll be going to be with her because I am now going to be 85 years old. Oh, by the way, Bryce's birthday is coming up on the 28th.
Okay, this is for
That's great. You remember. So, just as a last point before I turn over to Auntie Mildred, my mom was very religious, but I wouldn't say she was religious in a very necessary formal way. So she really embraced. She was Buddhist and Christian and everything. So anything that was filled with love and holiness and what was good in the world, she embraced it. So after she passed, one of the protocols for Buddhism is that you should not, it's a passage. And so you should not move. They don't want people fussing around and, doing things for 4 hours of a minimum. So we threw open the porch doors and it was a beautiful day. And we opened it and she was right there. The sun was shining on her and her face was luminous. And I just wanted, we'll cut it really short, but we wanted to share with you what she was listening to at that time. Or she wasn't listening, but she was surrounded with at that time. So, I mean, I feel it was one of the most, a very peaceful passage for a truly good soul on earth. And so now I would like to pass it to Auntie Mildred. We've heard a number of great stories from you, but if you have other things to add, and then after that, Bryce is going to say a few words, and then people who may just want to say even a word or two or anything are welcome to speak after that.
Okay.
So, Auntie Mildred?
Okay. When you had shown a picture of Norma and Cheryl's wedding, the wedding pictures, it just now brought back memories for me. I was there, and so was David. And David was the one that took most of the wedding pictures of the
Bryce, that's not the
Matsuokas.
wedding.
So you have more general idea what
That's not the
inspired.
wedding.
So it started out with Norma and Cheryl decided to get married. And I was on my way up to Indiana. I had to complete my dietetic internship program. So Norma and my plan before Cheryl's decision to marry Norma was Norma was supposed to go back to Honolulu after her teaching, and I was supposed to come up to start on my internship program. So we were supposed to meet in Los Angeles at Uncle Hank's place. So I came up, and I knew Norma was planning to go home, back to Honolulu. Norma's winter clothes, which she had gotten from some of her girlfriends that were living in New York, was supposed to be given to me. So we were going to try and exchange clothes because Norma had no need for these winter clothes, the big coats and things going on. So she was going to pass them on to me because I was going to be in Indiana. And I'm waiting in Los Angeles at Uncle Hank's house, waiting for news from Norma. Didn't hear a word. So I got kind of a little stuck in Los Angeles because we told ourselves we'll spend a couple weeks in Los Angeles. She flies back to Honolulu and I go to Indiana. But it never materialized. But anyway, when she decided to marry Cheryl, where was I going to be doing? Am I going to be staying here? Because this is sometime in July. And where was I going to be? I couldn't stay with Uncle Hank. He was a bachelor, lived upstairs in the loft of this architect's building. So I felt, where am I going to be? I can't stay at Uncle Hank. So Norma did invite me up to New Jersey. So it ended up, I had to fly to New Jersey. I stayed with Norma and Cheryl. I stayed with them until late August before I left for Indiana. But there are a lot of things that Norma and I shared. We, since she shared the winter clothes and gave them to me, we also shared maternity clothes. We were passing on from year to year, one pregnancy to another. And we also shared diapers and baby clothes and baby bottles went through. So there are a lot of things that I have shared with my sister. I enjoyed it. And Norma and Cheryl were very nice. David, my husband, was going to summer school at Purdue. And when I was there for the first time, they decided, why don't David come up from Purdue, Indiana, and stay with them for the rest of the summer? Because I was still, I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go to Indiana because the dorms were still closed. This was summer. But anyway, to make it, Norma and Cheryl were very nice. It ended up with, they invited my David up to stay with all of us, the three of us. So that's how David got to be the photographer of the wedding. And Cheryl found a room in his old rooming house at Princeton. And so David stayed there, and I guess the owner of the rooming house did not charge anything for David to stay during the summer. So this is part of the story that I had with my sister, and I share with you folks what I have shared with my sister being so good to me. So it was, but we had very nice times together, and I appreciate what my sister and Cheryl have done to David and I. And thus, like I said, we tried to stay close. So when this past couple years, I was the one that had called and talked to Norma. I usually call once a week. Then when I get lonely and blue and nothing else in my house, being a widow, I will also call Norma back up again. So I got the chance to talk to Norma maybe twice a week, just to chit chat with her. And if I had any news of the Chow family, uh, I would let her know. So that's how she got the news of some of the Chows that were living in Honolulu, and especially with Sister Teresa. I don't have Sister Teresa's phone number. I've made contact with Sister Teresa recently, but I don't have a phone number. Sister Teresa mentioned she moved. So I don't know exactly where she is now. And maybe Debbie, if you can get hold of Sister Teresa and let Sister Teresa know of Norma's passing. Okay. Yesterday, I had a long chat with cousin Jeffrey Chow in Honolulu. So we talked for over an hour, and I guess he found out the news of Norma's passing. So that's the latest that I have with the Chow family. I still have to make contact with the full side on my mother's side of the family, but there's not too many cousins left. That I will try and say do it maybe this afternoon or sometime this week. Yeah, this is so that's what the latest with me now. I'm gonna miss my sister. It's sad, but life goes on. And I think this wedding picture that I'm seeing now is what David took. It was David that took the wedding pictures of Norma and Cheryl.
Thank you so much, Auntie Mildred. And yes, I guess the other people, they can, if you pass it on to Bryce, they can see the replay thing. And so now Bryce is going to say a few words. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tama. Let me just put up my favorite picture of her. On behalf of Norma Chow Matsuoka, my mother. I'm the second of 3 children. Tama's the oldest, Tim is the youngest, I'm the middle child. Mom was warm and engaging, and she had a love of family togetherness and spirituality. She loved music. From a long time ago, we used to have our own private service at home in which all of us, including Tim after he was born and able to play a violin, would play music and write prayers, and it was a family time that I know she cherished. She also brought a lot of culture to our lives, and specifically Chinese culture, especially through her cooking. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you all is that she had a special Thanksgiving recipe for stuffing in a turkey. And I make this religiously every year. And if you ever want the recipe, I'd be happy to share that with you. I think you all have my email address if you'd like that. I also want to say thanks to her and issue a short prayer that a lot of you probably will recognize. It's called Hail Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mother, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Amen. Amen. Mom was always full of love and praise, and if you met her, you knew the term warmth. She was a hugger. She hugged voraciously. She taught me the meaning of a hug and the power of true love, and I will miss her terribly. So now I'm going to play the slideshow again. Some of you may have joined late and hadn't seen it, and if you'd like to say a few words, please, if you have a camera, just raise your hand. But the best way to get us is to go into the chat button below. It's the middle of the bottom of the part of your screen, and you should be able to see that there. Thank you.
Well, so they go to the chat and they say what? They ping you?
Yeah, they say I have a few words that I'd like to say.
Okay.
So this is Tim. This is me, Bryce. This is our family. She always used to love to hold food up and show it to you when we're taking a picture. I believe this was Thanksgiving dinner with Auntie Hilda. This is Auntie Mildred and my mom. This is my brother Tim, Bryce, and my mom. This is Tama, Shiro, and Norma. This is Tama and Norma. And this is her classic dress. She always used to wear this in the wintertime, like 5 sweaters and a hat. This is the Canadian Rockies. This is a family portrait. Bryce, Tim, Mom, Tama, and Cheryl. This is with Georgia, one of her grandchildren. And this is Mom, Tim, my son Adam, Bryce, and father. And this is her as a child. Bryce, Norma, and Cheryl. This is Rebecca, one of her grandchildren. Bryce and Norma. Getting in and out of a car was a challenge. And this is Adam with grandmother. This is our 50-year anniversary. And it wraps.
So did anyone ping you, Bryce?
Let me go back. Yes, Ken K.
Oh, Ken Kishi. Okay. So Ken Kishi, you helped my dad a lot. He visited my parents a lot at Fellowship Village.
Oh, very good.
Hello,
And,
do you
go ahead.
hear me?
Yes.
I'm very sad to hear about Norm. They after my parents died, they were neighbors at the retirement home, and I would visit my parents every 2 weeks, and after they died in 2011, Cheryl and Norma, I felt they adopted me as their child. We'd have lunch together all the time. Cheryl was very graceful, and he invited me to have lunch at the cafeteria with him. And so I would help him oftentimes. I would spend most of my time with Cheryl, and I often helped him with his computers. And we also had very in-depth discussions about physics and medicine and almost anything else, politics, nature. He has such a interest in everything as I do. Norma had ordered a Keith Urban electric guitar and amplifier, and she had never opened it, I don't think. Well, I play electric guitar, I play keyboards. So we opened it up for the first time, and I showed her how to tune it, and I played some music with it, and she also, I think, plays the accordion, maybe
Yeah, that's
some
what
other
my mother said.
instruments. And so we had made plans, the three of us, to play together. I was going to play guitar, she was going to play accordion, and Shiro at the time had his keyboard. And the three of us were going to have a jam session, but I'm sorry that never came to be. I really would really miss her, and I used to see them like every 2 weeks for many years until after my while my parents still lived, and then after my parents passed away, I stopped going up. My sister lives in Basking Ridge, and so I do visit her. So I occasionally would stop in to see them. I would bring them sushi. I make sushi, and and Japanese pickles, and Norma really didn't like my my version of sushi with fish on top. And instead of making mackerel the way Grandma used to make it, I would use pickled herring. And but she did like the sushi that I made with the skins, the tofu skins that are marinated in shoyu. And so we would eat that together. And she just had a very good appetite, and she just loved everything that I brought for them. One last thing, Aunt Mildred, the resemblance between you and Norma is very striking. Especially you have the same eyes. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very sad.
Thank you, Ken. So sweet.
You're welcome.
Anyone else like to say a few words?
Debbie Nakaoka said something, Bryce.
Yes, please, Debbie. I'm trying to, you have to unmute.
And Scott wants to say something.
Great. Still can't hear you, Debbie.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. Now I can hear you.
okay. Yeah, hi. I'm gonna really miss your mom. She was a
You're
wonderful-
kind of very faint. I can't hear you. Maybe turn up the sound.
You tested it?
Now we can't hear you at all.
How about now?
A little better.
Okay, we didn't really test the speaking part.
Oh, there. Something happened.
Did you do something?
Yeah, now we can hear you better. I can hear you
Yep.
better.
Oh,
Better.
okay. Yeah. So I was saying I'm gonna miss your mom a lot. We kind of connected. I want to say in the 80s when I moved up to California, and initially connected with Millie, and then I can't remember exactly when, but then I met Norma, because it's been so long ago. But the vivid memory that I have about your mom is that I was working in California and living there, And one year I had a business trip and I went, I think it was to Boston, and your mom invited me over to your house. And so I had not been to New Jersey before, and your dad picked me up and drove me over. And I just thought it's so different, East Coast living and West Coast living and Hawaii living. And she showed me some of the things that she was doing and she was into. And I was sharing with some people, one of the things that I thought was I thought she's just a fascinating person overall. One of the things I thought was fascinating was that she was authoring a video on, I don't know if it was Bach or Beethoven or something, on your local PBS station. Do you remember what it was? What composer? Anyway, I thought that was kind of fascinating that she did something for your PBS. Then she was into health kind of products. And she was showing me on some fancy microscope how there was blood cells, and you could see the blood cells separate.
Blood cell.
Sounds just like her.
and so I thought, wow, this is kind of interesting. And then she says, she was talking about your dad, and like he was also into woodworking and furniture making. And I thought, wow, that was fascinating. But I think overall, she was bright. Her personality was bright. She was always upbeat. She was, I guess, I don't know if she was funny, but she was always nice to be with. And I always learned something new about just different things. I just, and then I guess we kept in touch over the years and talk every now and then. And of course they visited. So, and she got into the essential oils too. And Ben and I were fortunate to enjoy her foot massages that she liked to give. So, but anyway, she was sweet, and she always had something interesting to share. So we'll really miss her.
Thank you, Debbie. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I would like to add that whenever they visited Hawaii, it was always a fun time to get together with them over a meal. Shiro and both of them had a lot of good stories to share, and a lot of, you could see that they had a lot of different interests. They kept busy in their retirement, and they continued to learn as they they kept venturing into other things to keep themselves active. And I know Shiro was a teacher, but he was also a student as well.
Thank you, Ben. That's great.
Scott. Scott Bernstein?
Yes. I just wanted to say, I mean, Tom, you're like family. I know I don't look anything Asian or anything, but, and your parents, both your mom, it was always great to see them. And we were just, I was talking with Marcia, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they there for our most special occasion when we got engaged in Thailand?
Yeah, they were.
They were, yes.
Yes, they were. Marcia didn't remember that, but yes, we were in Chiang Mai.
You were trying to talk Marcia out of it.
Okay, so this is offline.
But I do remember a lot of great things. She actually had given us a bunch of essential oils. It was always a great experience being with her. And also, actually, one of the most frightening experiences of our life was when we were at
Chinese
New Year's dinner, and I'm talking with her, and all of a sudden her face went blank on me, and she keeled over. And the next thing you know, this was at your place in Flemington, and I'm running out to get oxygen from Will's truck. And I felt it was the longest run of my life just to help save her. And it was a very scary experience, but thank God we were able to, help her. But I will miss her.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Scott.
Okay, Mia?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing all of your stories. It's really wonderful to hear so much about Papa's life. There's so much that I think Georgia, Rebecca, and I were really lucky to have Papa and Gung be so close to us growing up. We spent a lot of time at their place, and for little kids growing up, Papa and Gung's place was sort of this magical. I was reminiscing with Georgia the other day. Papa would have all these fun little machines. She had like a mini trampoline in her house that we bounce on, and this funny elliptical machine, and we'd play the piano, and she'd teach us prayers. And she also had these funny chi machines. One was like sort of like a little half dome that would heat you in the night, and Rebecca would always get cold, so she'd always have that for Rebecca when she stayed over. And the other was this funny like chi machine for your feet, and it would sort of move your feet back and forth. But there are always so many really fond memories spending time there and spending time with them and staying over there. And both Papa and Gung have been really, really lovely, really, really loving grandparents. And we really appreciate the time that I've had with them. It is wonderful also to hear the stories about her in Hawaii singing Christmas carols, because we have some videos also that we're going through of last Christmas when Rebecca and my mom were playing Christmas music on the piano, and Papa, she came alive and was singing as well, and all of us were really singing together. And it's nice to know that, it's sort of something that throughout her life she was enjoying.
Thanks, Mia.
Thank you, Mia.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Okay, we have to can you read this? It looks so dark. Can you read this?
Norma.
Yes. Oh, what? Oh my gosh. Hi, Mimi and Lee.
It's nice to see and hear all these stories. See you all. My biggest regret is that I'm finding out so late about this hooky lao, and I didn't have a chance to shake it with her on the dance floor.
Hey, Lee, it's never too late. It's never too late.
Well, like you notice, like it says, do the hukilo, it's the cow. Like I noticed on my dad's and my mom's photo back in the day, it says they're doing the cow.
Oh.
Maybe that was supposed to have been the hooky.
Well,
we're ready.
I'm impressed with the hukilo story, and very sad I never had a chance to really get out there and shake it with her, but I will in my mind. Thank you all.
And we'd like to raise a glass to the two of them. They're just such a wonderful part of our lives.
Oh, mine's empty.
Apple cider.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mimi and Lee.
Yeah.
I think Nick Orr would
Hello,
like to say something.
I met most of you, but I'm Rebecca's husband. I just want to add.
There's Rebecca.
At the Christmas last year, while Tama and Becky were playing, and I remember turning to Norma and saying, your granddaughter is so beautiful and talented, and she looked over at me, and she always had a great sense of humor, and she was a little forgetful, and she said, I know, and she's still single. And we're engaged, and she's like, oh, I remember. She always was full of play and fun, and I'm sorry that we all can't be together to celebrate her life.
Well, so do you want me to tell the story of when she was going in for her big operation, what she said?
Yes. Tell us.
So my mom had to actually, she had to actually get her leg amputated, but it went very well. but she was so brave, you know, the whole thing. And then literally 30 seconds before they're going to wheel her into the operating room to put her under, and the entire operating team is standing around, Becky Wong, her granddaughter, calls and says, hi, you know, Popo is the name for your grandmother. And she was, you know, her face lit up, as it always does when she hears from them. And they said, she said, you know, it's really nice to speak with you. I love you. Best wishes, thinking of you. And then what does my mom say? She's like, and she said something like, are you still seeing that handsome guy? And so then she's like, yes. And she said, is he still being nice to you? Or did he say, what did he say? Or did he say, did he beat you? Do you remember?
That was a different time that she asked if he.
Okay, so she did have a pretty wicked sense of humor. And she could, you know, despite her diminutive size, she could pack a mean baseball hit. She once hit my brother in a neighboring on the head with her baseball, all the way from another person's yard when she hit a home run. Do you know how to put the flashlight thing on this? I need light. Okay, so thank you, you guys. Bryce, did anyone else speak? Because I'm going to do the little closing thing now.
Nope, I think that's it. Go ahead with the closing.
Okay. I'm trying to put light on because I have really bad eyesight. Unless, wait, how do I do the flashlight thing? Can you do the flashlight thing? Okay, so I wanted to close with one of my mother's, it is her, oh good, okay, her favorite poem. She somehow adored Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And when I was getting some of her things this last week, I actually found her book. And it was open to this page, and it has 2 stars next to it. Like, this is a good one. This is the only one. I know she used to make Mia read it to her over the past couple of years. And true to everything we've been hearing about her it's called A Psalm of Life, you know, about her love of life, about how she lived so richly and deeply, and how she gave so much love to everyone around her. So I thought in closing, I would read this for everyone. Hopefully, I've got to use this. It's getting dark here, so I will read this with a little flashlight. Okay. A Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us further than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb, driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present. Heart within and God o'erhead. Oopsie. Sorry, turning the page. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time, footprints that perhaps another, sailing o'er life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. So with that, I thank everyone for being here, for family, for friends. live deep, live richly, and savor the time we can share together. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do we do? Leave.